Hi everyone, it's La Hughes here, and I want to say thank you for joining us in for our SOL Stuttering Out Loud vlog. We have a special guest in the house today, and it is Mr. Steve Kaufman. He is coming here from Maryland to do a speech, and we're just going to have a conversation today with him. And but first, I have compiled a slideshow to kind of show his time here. So we're going to play that right now, and then we'll be right back. Okay, great. Well, I hope you enjoyed the slideshow, and I want to introduce my wife, Jeanette. She just got back from the field. Poor woman, suffering in the field.
You can't even say it straight.
So she has come all this way to come in and sit in this vlog with us, so we can have a talk with Steve. So, Steve.
All right. Hi, everyone who's watching this vlog. My name is Steve Kaufman. I'm from Germantown, Maryland, which is the outskirts of the Washington D.C. metro. And I just presented a motivational speech at the Utah Speech Language Hearing Association conference, which was held in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah, on Thursday.
And I was there, so I did all the filming. And after this vlog, I'm going to be compiling all that footage, and I'm going to be putting it up on my YouTube page so everybody can see how well he did. He did wonderful. But we're going to go into a few mishaps that he that he had at the conference that I'm sure he's dying to tell this story. But
it was a very enlightening and educational experience.
It was funny. It was funny. But I'm going to give my wife the first question.
Okay, so when you got here in Salt Lake, what was your first impression?
Flying here on Southwest Airlines from Denver, I was blown away by how breathtakingly gorgeous the mountains are. I have never been this far west to speak at a conference, and when I got off the plane, I was like, my God, I've never seen anything quite like this. It was stunning. It really was.
Well, the cool thing about it is the day that you arrived was the last Tuesday of the month, and that's when the Salt Lake City has their chapter meeting, right? Mm-hmm. And so we got to go and sit in a chapter meeting. And how was that? Was that any different than your chapter meeting, or?
Our chapter meets at the Kensington Volunteer Firehouse, and we average about 8 people, which is what yours had there.
Yeah.
We do not have any speech pathologists who come to the meetings. We do have an SLP grad student who will be graduating in May, but everybody there at the meetings seemed very genuine, very approachable, and we had a great discussion about stuttering.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Mindori was not there this time, which I wish Shay would have went, but we met up with her the very next day, and we went to the mountains, and we showed Steve a lake at 5,000 feet. How was that? Was it cold?
I like to believe that I came prepared because I had all my winter gear. Unlike other people who didn't have a jacket on and complained at the hall that it was too cold and they had to go back to their car.
Who was that?
You know who it was. No,
That was me. I didn't have a jacket on, and he wanted to go outside and take pictures, and a storm was coming in, and I was like, no, I'm not getting out in the cold.
Just standing up on the mountains, you could close your eyes and feel how glorious it was to inhale the air. It was special. It was an incredible experience. I don't think, obviously, I'll be climbing any mountains in my life, but it was fun.
Well, we got some pictures of you on a little bitty hill, right? Right? Okay. So
That we did.
Well, how high were you guys up in the mountain?
I think we're about 5,000 feet.
1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, we ate at a diner called Ruth's Diner. Very 1920-ish. Bacon that was sliced this thick, that was full of fat.
It was very homey. It was
Yeah.
very homey, and we marveled at the giant, fluffy size of the breakfast biscuits.
Okay, yeah, they're big. They're big. So hey, so the conference that you came to go speak at, how did that come about?
Well, I'm currently on a bucket list goal to speak at every state speech and hearing convention, and Utah was one of the states that was high on my list as a top priority. Last year, I missed out because I believe the deadline had passed to submit what's known as a call for papers, and I kept in touch with the committee members, and then when they announced that the convention was being held in March, I got in touch. I said, here's my speech, here's what I'm talking about, and I kind of lobbied them to come out there.
Okay. Well, I think this is the time that you're going to tell your story. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Everything was going well in my speech, and there's a point where I talk about my experiences where I missed out on a paralegal job because I stuttered. And I had kind of a discussion slash confrontation with one of the managing partners, and I had made a comment that might have been viewed as aggressive, and he got angry, and we were just kind of having an enthusiastic back and forth, and he said to me, "Stephen, who the fuck do you think you are?" And I dropped the F-bomb in the conference, and people were like, there were gasps and laughter and eyebrows raised apparently. And I was thinking like, yeah, it's just the word fuck. That's all it is. Fuck. Just keep saying it. Fuck. It's a normal word, part of the vernacular. Well, my presentation.
Do I have to bleep this?
I know.
Am I gonna have to bleep this?
Yeah,
Okay.
my presentation was broken up into two parts, and at the intermission, one of the executive board members came up to me and she said, I'm getting a lot of positive compliments about your presentation, but you have to tone it down. This is Utah. People here are very conservative. And I did apologize because I was wrong. I mean, I'm a guest here in this state, and I would not open up someone else's refrigerator without asking their permission. And it made for a very interesting convention, because now I've learned a new commandment, which is thou shalt not drop the F-bomb in Utah.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that you took away from this conference is maybe what is okay in some other states may not be okay.
Yeah.
So lesson learned, right? And maybe you can adjust your speech.
Depending on the states that
depending
you're
on the
living
state,
in.
I agree. It was just I was amused because they used
I love to see that video.
It was because they used it.
It's on video.
I was just amused because they used the term salty language.
Salty language.
And I was like, when I heard that, I thought of the George Carlin comedy skit he does called The 7 Dirty Words You Can't Say on Television, where he talks about ways to describe these words. Like, if you curse, they'd be called dirty words, foul, filthy, vulgar, blue, risque, off color, not salty. I think of salty and I think of pretzels.
Okay. All right. We'll move on from that one. So after the conference, a beautiful blonde walked up and talked to you. What was that about? She didn't come and say anything to me.
You have a ring on.
Oh, well, darn. But
well, me and Lot were in the lobby, and Lot was texting one of his friends who was meeting us for dinner, and there was a gorgeous woman with blonde hair who had these knee-high cowboy boots, which I know you will appreciate.
Okay.
And she noticed that I had on a Maryland flag ski cap and a Maryland flag scarf, and she smiles and she says, "Are you from Maryland?" Because I recognized the flag, and I said yes, and we started chatting for a couple of minutes.
Well, I have to say she was very pretty.
That she was.
And I was just a little bit jealous, Steve, but that's okay. My wife is sitting here, so I had to be good. But so you leave tomorrow, and is there another conference you're going to go to in July?
Well, well, of course, I'll be at the National Stuttering Association's 40th anniversary conference in downtown Dallas. That's July 5th through the 9th. And I'll be speaking at the Maryland conference in April. And hopefully,
cool.
if things go well, maybe I can do Washington State in October, and maybe they'll be more open to my brashness about
Salty language.
Well,
providing things in
it is Washington D.C. that they're
full living color.
so your bucket list is to give a speech in every state, correct?
Oh.
And so why don't you list off the states that you've already done?
Okay. I've done Virginia, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Texas, Michigan, Louisiana, New Jersey, Pennsylvania,
Wow.
Illinois, and Utah.
So 11.
Did she
11
count right?
states.
How many states is that? 12, right?
12, I think
12.
so.
Oh, my
Yeah.
math is off.
My-
Why
So-
did I?
So
Out of Utah.
that's actually amazing because I mean, look, even somebody who's fluent has a hard time getting in front of people. And at this conference, there's probably 300 or 400 people in the crowd, but in your session or in your workshop, there was at least 70, right? You would think. And who was sitting in the audience?
One of the keynote speakers actually came into my session for a couple of minutes, and that was Justin Osmond, who was a member of the Osmond family. And I actually had no idea that the Osmonds are from Utah, which is kind of a big deal around here.
So everybody knows Donnie and Marie Osmond, right? Well, not a lot of people know that their younger brother was deaf. And so he was the keynote speaker. I didn't know until I showed up. And he gave a wonderful speech. And while Steve was doing his speech, Justin Osmond came in, sat down for pretty much the whole first part of it. So that was actually really cool. I was shocked. So that was actually a cool part of the whole day, I think. So, so how many conferences have you been to so far, as far as the NSA?
NSA goes. My very first one was Long Beach, California in 2006, and I've never missed
Wow,
since.
2006.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
okay, but we met at the 2011 one
Mhm.
in Dallas, which is the one coming on this year.
I know.
So it's kind of gone around. Kind of jealous that I won't be there, but I'm kind of jealous that it's going to be back in Dallas because I have a lot of friends in Dallas, and
And not to mention that it's only a 2-hour plane ride, which I've kept using
kept-
that excuse.
Yeah, I think that's like the 20th time you told me that. That's like a 2-hour plane ride. Yeah, you know, I'm from Texas, right?
I know.
Okay, just so you know. Do you have another question, babe?
Most of my questions was already, but do you have any friends that you wanna say hi to?
Yeah. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My only shout out goes to everyone at the National Stuttering Association who allows me to grow and conquer stuttering every day. If you have not heard about them, you can check out their webpage at www.westutter.org.
Yep.
And they tweet. They are at WeStutter. I also want to give a shout out to all the people who stutter worldwide, who face these same challenges every day. You are stronger than you think. I really believe that, and I would like to send a not so nice shout out to the person who got me sick, because I'm coming down with either a cold or bronchitis, and I just got over a cold. So whoever you are, I will find you, and we will have a chat about this.
So tonight I have arranged for a chat and chew at this place called the Red Iguana 2. Apparently there's a Red Iguana 1 and there's a Red Iguana 2. They're like right next to each other. So apparently it's a pretty good Mexican restaurant. So we're all going to go out to eat, and hopefully a few people from our chapter shows up and says their goodbyes, because I don't know if you're ever going to be back in Utah, because you might get sick again. But
I mean, hopefully I will return eventually.
I'm sure you will, Steve. We'll have you back. We'll have you back, and maybe, who knows? 1 year at the conference might be here, and my kids might be 20 years old by then. But it might come here one day, 1 year. But
and just in your honor, at the closing banquet in Dallas, we will make sure that every table has Tabasco sauce.
Yeah. So I will be putting the whole conference video up on my YouTube page, and if you have not already done so, you can come and join our Facebook page, and it's called Stuttering Out Loud, SOL. And I also have a YouTube page. So if you have not subscribed, click the subscribe button and the little bell that's next to it, so when we do post these, you will know. And there's going to be a few parts of it, because your speech was 3 hours long, and I'm going to try to get the whole 3 hours. So it's going to be in parts, like part 1, 2, and 3. So it's well worth the watch. I learned a lot about Steve that I did not know, and I was glad I was there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I hope that we'll take the appropriate precautions to eliminate any use of explicit language.
No, it's going to be in the raw, man. It's going to be in the raw. It's going to be in the raw. I want everybody to hear. So
yeah, it'll be the F-bomb heard around Utah and the world.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to end this video, and I hope you can come back and do it again. We would love to ask you some more questions, and get to know you a little bit better, and we will have to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So
and I do hope that you and Miss Jeanette will come to Washington, and I can give you the tour of the whole city.
oh,
Right, that would be
that's
nice.
that's going to happen. We're going to come. I want to bring my kids there, but that will happen. So we'll have to work that out.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.